What's up, guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. I've had a lot of people asking me, what I'm doing with these SPACs, how I'm trading them, where I see them going. So I wanted to jump on and kind of go over some of these SPACs that I think are down at levels that are just a little bit too far down. And so let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. Alright guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date. I try to post new videos every day with growth stocks, penny stocks, market news, anything I think can help us become better investors as a whole. There's also a link down in the description of my Patreon account. Come join the family over there. If you want to be a part of the Day One squad, I think we've got about 10 or 12 spots left. You can join for just $1. You'll get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 4 different portfolios so you can see exactly what I invest into. And then anytime I buy or sell a stock up to the second I do it, anytime I've got some watch list stocks or I enter a swing trade or a crypto trade, I send that out so you can follow along with that. So if you want to be a part of the family, help us grow the channel, be in the Day One squad, come join us. We would love to have you. But guys, let's not waste time. We're going to jump right in. So today I'm going to go over some of these SPACs that I think are down at levels that are looking a little undervalued. I've had a lot of people asking me, what I'm doing with them, how I'm trading them, where I see them going. I made a video yesterday about Get Capital 3 and how it was down at a level that I couldn't believe it got down to that quickly. I wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on the overall market. I'll show you a couple of the SPACs that I really like and what I'm doing with them, and then we'll wrap it up. But I do want to say a couple of things here. Guys, the market is a very irrational place. I was looking through my portfolio last night. I've always known that, but last night was a nice subtle reminder of that because I was looking at some of these stocks that we're in and I was seeing the prices that they were at and I was just blown away because you take a couple of these companies, let's use Skills for example, and you look at their price back in January and you look at their price as of yesterday and it's down 70-something%. Now, did the company as a whole lose 70% of their business? No. Did their revenue go down 70%? Did they lose 70% of their contracts? No, they didn't. That's why I say the market is a very irrational place. I'm not one to say, the suits or, market manipulation. I try to be kind of optimistic on that. Obviously, there's market manipulation. Obviously, big money can move the market. But what I will say is Wall Street is extreme. They either go extreme to one side or the other, but it's never this happy medium, perfect balance. They're either extreme to the upside or they're extreme to the downside. Back in January, December, they were extreme to the upside. And they kind of pushed it to the point where everybody was like, that's a little extreme, that's a little overvalued, and it started selling off. So then they realized they could make more money by going the extreme way on the other side and pushing everything down as far as they could. Now there is that limit, that point of diminish where you just can't push it anymore any further down because you'll get exposed, because then people start saying, whoa, that's way too low, and people start piling in, hedge funds start piling in, and then they realize, oh wow, now we can make more money by going long on it and pushing it the other way. So the market moves in cycles, guys. It's a very irrational place. It's going, it went up, it came down, and the cycle will start over and repeat itself, where it'll go back up, it'll stay where it's at, or it will, do whatever it's going to do, and then it will go back down. And so it's always going to move in cycles like that. But as soon as you think that you can predict it, because it's a rational, logical thinking thing, it is not. Just remember that you cannot predict it. It is not rational. It is not logical. It moves in ways that is very irrational. And so I wanted to look at some of these SPACs today that I think are down at prices that are a little irrational. The reason why I was looking at my portfolio so closely last night, I look at it every day, but I've got a little brother. He's 2 years younger than me. My best friend. Care more about that dude than anything on this planet. but he wanted to start investing. He wanted to build a portfolio, and so I wanted to make sure that I could set him up with a portfolio that was going to do well for him. He doesn't, he's very frugal. His risk tolerance isn't super high, but it's also it's not nothing. He can handle some risk, and he wants to get into some growth stocks. So that's why I was going through them, and I picked a couple that we'll talk about today. If there's any that I miss in here, obviously, guys, there's so many SPACs I can't talk about them all. I'm just going to give you some off the top of my head that I like. If you want me to cover, other ones, you can put it in the down in the comments, and I'll see if I can get to it. But let's jump in. Okay, guys, so the first one we're going to look at today is Skills. Like I said, look at this chart. It got pushed up to the extreme, got all the way up, to a high of $46.30. And ever since, it started trading downwards, it has literally gotten down 70 to 73%. Again, guys, has the business lost 73% of its capacity, of its revenue, of its contracts? No, it hasn't. This company has either doubled or tripled its revenue every single year since 2012. And so looking at this price where it was at last night at $12.55, I was thinking to myself, that looks a little irrational. And that's why it is up 15.3% today, because it got pushed down to that level that was irrational. This is one that I am absolutely holding. I'm absolutely buying more. I just had my brother enter right when the market opened this morning and buy up some shares of it, because this is one that I think will do very well, and I think is pushed down unjustly. I think a lot of these SPACs got pushed down unjustifiably in this market condition because of that, because those growth stocks, they always get over exaggerated to the upside and the downside. And I do want to say this, in my video yesterday on Get Capital 3, I talked about how revenue guidance and projections and the difference between actuality and projections are going to make a big factor in the stock price on these growth stocks and on these SPACs moving forward. And so with that being said, when you take a look at a company like this where the price gets down to $12.50, it's like, okay, they've got good revenue. Yeah, they missed on their earnings per share in their last earnings report, but I want to say they beat on revenue. I'm not quite sure on that. You can correct me down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure they did. And so with that being said, it just blew right through the moving averages. There was no support there. It just kept falling because they were shorting it to death. Now I could see it start moving back up to the upside because it got down to that price where it was just too far down. So this is one that I'm absolutely holding on to, guys. The SPACs that I'm going to be holding on to and buying more of are the ones that are actually out there performing their business. They've got clients, they've got revenue, they've got contracts. The ones that I'm kind of staying away from at this point in time are the ones that are really speculative. When I say that, I mean ones like Holicity or ACIC or DMYI. I really like those SPACs. Don't get me wrong. I've got a couple of shares of each of them, but it's only a couple of shares, and I got them for tracker shares that I can see where they're going. But those ones, like, they don't have any revenue yet, right? They don't have any money to show us yet. Very speculative industries, very disruptive industries. Now, I think they will do well over the long term, but in this market, SPACs are getting hammered, and if they can't show you the money, then they probably shouldn't be on the list until that whole kind of mindset and psychology turns around. So the next one we're going to look at is IPOE. This is another one that I really like. They've got that bank charter. This one has shown some resilience. It was making this cup handle. That was kind of making me nervous, a little bit of a bullish pattern. But overall, it has shown a little bit of resilience. It has kind of held right here at the 1482 mark. I did also think that stock was looking a little undervalued at the time, especially when you look out 2022 projected revenue now that they got that bank charter. SoFi's app is already doing business. They've got clients, they've got revenue, they've been growing revenue really well. So this is one that can show us the money. This is one that I'm absolutely adding. I had my brother at it. I will continue to add it. I think it's in a very nice place, and I think it will do very well moving forward. Again, ask yourself, did it get this much worse since January 29th? No, it didn't. The company has done just fine. I would even argue that the company has gotten better since January 29th till today. So guys, that's where you got to differentiate. A stock price is different than the actual company. They're almost two separate entities. But eventually what ends up happening when these stocks do get pushed down to the ultimate downside that is just way unrational is they come along and they correct it. They put out a earnings report, or they put out a contract, or they show us that they are worthy of a rising and appreciating stock price. The companies that can't do that will suffer and continue on that downward trend. But when you look at good companies like this, Palantir is another great example. The stock price has been going down consistently, has a couple up days, but overall been going down. That's one that I really like. I would absolutely argue that since January, the company has gotten much better. And they've gotten more contracts, they've gotten more deals, and they've got money in the pipe. They're doing big things. They've made great investments, and eventually the company will come and show that. They will shed light on that. Whoa, we are not a $13 stock or a $15 stock or whatever that certain stock or company price is at. We are a $40 stock or whatever it is, and the market will adjust to that and it'll move back up. Okay, so the third one that we're going to take a look at is PaySafe. You guys know that I love this one. This is one of my favorite stocks, one of my biggest holdings. I did say that I can see more downward pressure continuing with this stock up until earnings report right here in May. I could see some preemptory run up right before earnings, because I do think that they will provide nice earnings on May 11th. This company has already done over $1 billion in payments. Like, they've got good revenue. They've got, in my opinion, rather conservative projections and revenue guidance. I think this stock will do just fine moving forward. I think the $12.79 price is just too low for this stock, and I think eventually it will get up out of there. I'm very eager to see what happens on May 11th with their earnings. If they, beat earnings, I think you'll see this stock move right back up to where it needs to be, up here around the $14, $15 mark. If it misses earnings, I could see it falling down to 10, 9, 10 bucks. So, but this is one I'm absolutely hanging on to, absolutely adding to. I talked about GIC yesterday. I'm not going to jump into that one. You can go watch my video on that one. That is one that is absolutely, got down to that irrelevant or that irrational price. That's why it's up over 10% or almost 10% today, because it got down to that point where it was just too much. The last one that I'm going to show you guys is Star Peak Energy. This one has shown a lot of resilience in the last few weeks. It has not gotten absolutely annihilated like most of the other ones. It got beat down, it got pushed down, don't get me wrong, but overall it was only down 55%, where you look at skills down 73%. Has shown resilience, has shown nice support right here at around this $21 level. It was also using it as resistance back here, but this is one that is in a great industry. It's an emerging industry. This is a very volatile stock. It'll get down to the $21 range. It'll pop up 10%. It'll come back down. So this buying it right down here at this price, if you can get it anywhere around that $21.50, $21 range, great price. It already is up 5% today, back up almost at $24. So absolutely, I'm adding this one. I had my brother buy it this morning. Love it. Think it's going to do very well. A lot of these other one guys, like I said, Holicity, VLDR, NVVE, Nuve. I love that one. The bidirectional charging, the patents on it. I think this down here at the $8.82 is undervalued. Absolutely. This industry is very fierce. It's very competitive in the EV charging industries, but overall, I do see this company being one of the top dogs because of that bidirectional trading or charging. And I really like how they're doing the school buses, where they're linking them all together and using them as an energy source to give fleet operators a stream of income to help pay for those EVs. So guys, that's it for today. Obviously I can't cover every ticker. I just wanted to give you kind of my top ones, what I'm doing with them, where I think they're going, how I see the market reacting to SPACs moving forward. If there's any tickers you want me to cover, put it down in the comments. I'll see if I can get to it. If you want to talk to me, in real time, you want to ask me any questions you got, you want to, go over any SPAC you want, come join us at the Patreon. I'd love to have you in the Discord and talking with you. That's it for today, guys, though. Like the video if you got any value out of it. Always go out, fact check me, do your research. I would love to see what your price targets are on these stocks. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.